Hey y'all. My sister used to say, hey y'all. Malika. Devante. Charming. Mona Lisa. Hey, tap in with Tiff. Listen, I just started this. It ain't even been 5 minutes, and I had to rewind it because you were still catching up. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I won't even keep y'all on here long, but I want y'all to hear this. You know, I like to watch TV with y'all. But listen, this is Hollywood Decoded, Season 1, Episode 2. This is about the Matrix. They have said some shit in here to the point where I had to rewind this all the way back to the beginning. And I had only been watching it for maybe 5 minutes. I want y'all to hear some shit that they're saying. Matrix being constructed, and this is actually stuff that the Pentagon and DARPA deal with, right? That you can y'all hear it? An interlink between the brain and the internet and so forth. So I think this is on so many levels is showing us not just where we're going, but it's reaching back into ancient philosophy and Plato and modern philosophy, postmodernism with Baudrillard, all kinds of stuff going on. And if you saw, his address was 101, binary code, which is what makes up the Matrix. The White Rabbit has many symbols. Man, they about to say some shit. And Alice in Wonderland, right? And the whole thing. And so this is again the opposite, though. He is mind controlled at the beginning, yes, and he's actually going to get unmind controlled by the White Rabbit. So it's kind of the opposite of how they're usually portraying these things. Exactly. So you're going to see a lot of terminology that's used too, that's like Zion and Trinity, but they're given new meanings. They're given kind of Gnostic meanings in this trilogy. I don't know what to make of this, but as we're going to see in this next scene, in this clip, there's all kinds of predictive programming in this. One of the guys who worked on the technical aspects of this film is Paul Debevec. And back in the 90s, early 90s, he had actually perfected his CGI to where you couldn't tell the difference between reality and CGI. He later went on to work with DARPA and the Pentagon. Can you hear now? Turn to the Matrix is actually in many ways showing us not just this mythology, but again where technology. It's also words on the screen, guys. We can't trust what's on mainstream news. We know exactly what's going on. We can't just buy the mainstream story. And the Matrix itself even shows us that with They about to come up to what I wanted y'all to hear. Next scene, when Agent Smith has Neo there being questioned, interrogated, why do they have the date, right? This is 1999 as September 11th, 2001. That's Neo's passport date. Okay. Y'all peep that? He said this is 1999, but they got it as September. His passport date is September 11th, right? Okay. They saying some shit. Just hold on. That's right. And just for a second, I'd like to touch on some of the names of the people. Trinity is, of course, three. And in sacred geometry and in hermetics, everything kind of evolves from the three. One is a single unit, and two is duality, and then three is what duality gives birth to, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and all the rest of the numbers, but they all have to start out with these three. And if you look at some of the philosophies from, say, India, they're all built around this idea of a trinity. Wait till they come to the books. This shit is crazy. The human brain always has three aspects to it. So the Indians and the Vedic teachings teach it. It's consciousness, time, and space are the three aspects of this reality. There's also past, present, and future. That's right. And Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are also the three aspects of this triunity. And so I think it's kind of amazing that the person who is the impetus for this journey that Neo is taking is named Trinity, and it's a woman. Union is very important in alchemy. So you have the male principle, and you also have the Sophia principle that have to be united for the final, final state of matter. When matter transcends, it becomes a philosopher's stone, right? So you have to have that union first. And that's ultimately what we're going to see in the film. But this passport scene is fascinating. I've always just seen this as one of the most amazing instances of predictive programming.
You have a social security number, you pay your taxes, and you help your landlady carry out her garbage. in computers, where you go by the hacker alias Neo and are guilty of virtually every computer crime we have a law for. One of these lives has a future, and one of them does not. I'm going to be as forthcoming as I can be, Mr. Anderson. You're here because we need your help.
They said, heads up, we've detected copyright audio and video in your stream. Your stream may be temporarily blocked.
A man who calls himself Morpheus. And whatever you think you know about this man,
They all got on lipstick in this goddamn
he's
room.
considered by many authorities to be the most dangerous man alive. My colleagues believe that I'm wasting my time with you, but I believe you wish to do the right thing. We're willing to wipe the slate clean, do a fresh start. All that we're asking in return is your cooperation in bringing a known terrorist to justice.
Interestingly, this is predictive programming, I would say.
Predictive
You have to watch it.
programming.
You might even have to freeze your Blu-ray or DVD to see that the date is 2001, right? 9/11/2001. So maybe a quick excursus on what predictive programming is. I believe that it's this notion of conditioning people to what's going to come, right? So that maybe the subconscious sees these images and records it, and then when it actually happens in the real world, we're a lot more willing to accept it. We've been conditioned. A lot of predictive programming had to prepare us for the panopticism that we got with Soviet Dick, the Minority Report, and accepting this total surveillance, right? Because
Accepting the total
we
surveillance.
just feel like it's inevitable. Oh yeah, I saw that 10 years ago in that movie. I guess it's here now. This is the way it's got to be, right?
Yeah, it's like, putting on a pair of old jeans, It's like, oh, I've worn these so many times it conformed to my body. But you see this predictive programming, and then pretty soon it's like, oh, I knew this all the time. The fact that this is a scene where they're talking about terrorists.
Exactly.
And that Morpheus.
So now they have said that basically this shit is to get you normalized and desensitized. And oh, well, it's been in a movie, so maybe this is the way it's just supposed to be. You said, where's the link for the video? You got to go on Prime. You got to go on Prime. This is Hollywood Decoded. Now, I don't know if I went past it. Hold on, this is at 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Let me see. Yep, I did. I had went past it. Okay. I took it all the way back because I didn't go back far enough to hear what y'all...
more esoteric, deeper meaning to the Hollywood films that we all love to watch.
Okay, listen.
I'm Jay Dyer.
And I'm Jay Widener, and this is Hollywood Decoded.
I want y'all to hear what they said about this book. I even had to go look the book up.
Matrix is a very esoteric, philosophically heavy trilogy from the Wachowskis. And we chose it because it deals with these perennial themes like Plato's allegory of the cave.
Yeah, like the lights flickering on the wall. The people that are caught in the Matrix think that they're actually watching reality,
Right.
but they're really not. And
The people caught in the Matrix thinks they're watching reality, but they're really not.
that Morpheus comes in and he shatters Neo's reality and turns him into what he became. So it's a great movie. It's about redemption and the Gnostic ideas that we're being controlled by a demiurge, a false god,
Right.
and we're embedded in a false reality.
Okay. Did y'all hear that? You heard that? Who is it? What up, Cozy Boy 9? What up, my guy? What up, Connie? So, it basically said what the movie is showing you is how you... Child,
To what he became. So it's a great movie. It's about people that are caught in...
It's about people that are caught in the Matrix that think that they're watching reality, but they're not.
Actually watching reality,
Right.
but they're really not. And that Morpheus comes...
Okay.
He shatters Neo's reality and turns him into what he became. So it's a great movie. It's about redemption and the Gnostic ideas that we're being controlled.
The Gnostic ideas that we're being controlled by a demiurge, a false god. What up? That we are being controlled. The narrative is that we're being controlled by a demiurge, a false god. Yes, this is Hollywood decoded. That is our reality. Girl, keep listening if you can't hear it.
By a demiurge, a false god,
Right.
and we're embedded in a false reality.
And we are embedded in a false reality. That is what that movie is meant to show you. That you are being controlled by a demiurge, a false god, and you are embedded, said demiurge, being responsible for the creation of the universe in a Platonic philosophy, the maker or creator of the world. And we are embedded in a false reality. Like fucking boom. Okay?
So in this scene, we're going to see the white rabbit and how it relates to the simulacra and simulation.
Okay, so the simulacra and the simulation is a book that they show inside of this movie. I had to go look it up. Okay, listen.
There's a lot of stuff going on in this scene. So we noticed that Neo, we didn't see it, but he's actually doing his hacking stuff. And he gets an IM from Trinity, and it's leading him to go to this club and ultimately meet her. But if you pay attention, he's actually scrolling through news stories that deal with this mysterious terrorist, as he's described in the mainstream news, known as Morpheus.
So there's like, if you really pay attention to what he's doing and what he's looking at, that he's really looking at the mainstream news about a terrorist named Morpheus. See, I didn't catch none of that shit. I didn't see none of that shit. And he sees, of course, the message from Trinity.
You're 2 hours late.
I know. It's her fault.
Got the money?
$2,000.
Hold on.
Is it 4 UFOs? I believe it. They about to break it down.
Describing these people outside of the Matrix as terrorists, and little does Neo know that he's actually being led towards this very important encounter with Trinity. And you'll notice that he opened up this book that's a very famous philosophical work, and throughout the Matrix trilogy, there's going to be several key books that are placed in the background for a reason. Here, this is Jean Baudrillard's Simulacra and Simulation, and that deals with the world as synthetic.
Okay, that book, Simulacra and Simulation, is dealing with the world being a synthetic. The world is being a synthetic. It says that we've been actually fooled and duped into thinking we are living in a reality. Now, it's the words for me.
We've been actually fooled and duped into this kind of matrix reality, not just in the sense of the whole world, but that technology is taking us into a real matrix being constructed, and this is actually stuff.
They're already in the matrix, and they've been fooled. Okay, they've been fooled into thinking that they are living in a reality, but they're in the matrix. But he's saying that this is furthering them, moving them further into a like.
The Pentagon and DARPA deal with, like, that you can actually create, an interlink between the brain and the internet and so forth. So I think this is.
Did y'all hear that shit? No, bitch. Let me rewind it, because I don't think you fucking understand what he is saying.
Technology is taking us in the world as synthetic.
Now, I hear what them saying, but I got to let y'all see this here. Read the words. Hear what he is saying, please, because this shit.
That we've been actually fooled and duped into this kind of matrix reality, not just in the sense of the whole world, but that technology is taking us into a real matrix being constructed, and this is actual stuff that the Pentagon and DARPA deal with, right? That you can actually create, an interlink between the brain and the internet and so forth.
Bitch. He said you're being fooled and duped, that you are in a reality, but really you're in the matrix. And technology is helping to construct even further that you're inside of it. Now, he said giving a link to the brain of the like putting, no, I gotta rewind it because I want to make sure I'm saying this shit because that just blew me away.
Technology is taking us into
Being
a real matrix being constructed, and this is actual stuff that the Pentagon and DARPA deal with, right? That you can actually create, an interlink.
That you can actually create an interlink between the brain and this is mind blowing. It's mind blowing. You said it's not snowing up like a video for me. I don't know how to like the video this way. I don't know. What do you mean? But the link between interlink between the brain and what a computerized system, the simulation. He said you already think that you're in a reality, but really you're in a matrix, and technology is helping to construct a real matrix. He's talking about fucking virtual reality, is what he's talking about. He said to help to build an interlink between the brain and
Between the brain and the internet and so forth. Right?
Between the brain and the internet and so forth. What the fuck is so forth? This is Hollywood Decoded, Season 1, Episode 2, The Matrix. Basically, Miss Cat, exactly what the fuck I keep saying. I mean, it's making my hair on my top of my head stand up. Because the internet is trying to build the link. I don't know if y'all understand what he's saying. Is the technology is helping to construct and build a real matrix, basically virtual reality, that will build a link between the brain and the internet. Trying to create what, y'all? The intranet and simian. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I think this is on so many levels is showing us not just where we're going, but it's reaching back into ancient philosophy and Plato and
Again, now he said it does not just show us where we're going, it shows us where we've been, but reaching back into ancient philosophy and Plato. Shit is
modern philosophy, postmodernism with Baudrillard, all kinds of stuff going on. And if you saw his address was 101, binary code, which is what makes up the matrix.
White Rabbit has
binary code, which is what makes up the matrix. Okay, I'm gonna go back to where we had stopped it.
There's all kinds of predictive programming in this. One of the guys who worked on the technical aspects of this
Okay.
film is Paul Devodak.
Oh my God, I didn't went too far.
That makes life forms what they are.
Amen, because I didn't went too far, y'all.
He's the one.
Okay.
It's like, oh, this is, I knew this all the time.
Right? This total surveillance, right? Because
Okay, here we go. We back.
A lot of predictive programming had to prepare us for the panopticism that we got with Philip K. Dick and Minority Report and accepting this total surveillance, right? Because we've seen it so many times in fiction that we just feel like
I'm gonna rewind it a little bit more because I wanna.
is, I believe that it's this notion of conditioning people to what's going to come, right? So that maybe the subconscious sees these images and records it, and then when it actually happens in the real world, we're a lot more willing to accept it. We've been conditioned. A lot of predictive programming had to prepare us for the panopticism that we got with Phil K. Dick and Minority Report, and accepting this total surveillance.
Okay.
Because we've seen it so many times.
He said to get you to accept the total surveillance, like the Minority Report. If you've never seen the Minority Report, you have no idea what he's talking about. In the movie The Minority Report is where they can see into the future. So if you even thought about doing something, they can come and get your ass. Yes, predictive programming. Like conditioning. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to condition you so you accept this shit as we put it out here. So we're going to make you feel safe. So when you watch the Minority Report and you see how we stop crime before we even make it be committed, before we, my words, before we even make it be committed, because they make crime be committed. So we're going to stop it before we even make it be committed. So we're doing you this complete solid. So no need to be fearful. Just let us control everything. And then you'll be okay because we're going to save the day.
In fiction, that we just feel like it's inevitable. Oh yeah, I saw that 10 years ago in that movie. I guess it's here now. This is the way it's got to be, right?
Yeah, it's like, putting on a pair of old jeans, It's like, oh, I've worn these so many times it conform to my body. Well, you see this predictive programming, and then pretty soon it's like, oh, this is, I knew this all the time. The fact that this is a scene where they're talking about terrorists,
Exactly.
and that Morpheus is a terrorist, and that his passport is the date of the biggest terrorist event in history cannot be an accident.
No,
And we've seen this before in like the Back to the Future films, where there does seem to be people in the know trying to pass information downstream, and that, to me, that passport calendar date is actually one of the most astonishing predictive programming ever in film history.
So as Neo has come out of his false reality and he's joined his merry band of rebels and revolutionaries, he's going to see the source code, right? He's going to understand that reality is constructed kind of like the Kabbalists saw it, as a kind of numerical or linguistic code, like all of reality itself. And we've seen this in other films as well, like 2001, where the fabric of reality is these platonic solids, right? And so in this sequence, this is where he realizes he's the one.
Oh yeah, this is when he's
If we go back and
stopping the bullets.
and we think about how reality is structured in a certain way to have form, and then even at the smallest level of reality, there's a kind of code. We think about DNA, right? DNA is a coding sequence that makes life forms what they are.
He is the one.
In the Hermetic tradition, a number is at the core of reality.
Right.
It is the only thing that is actually real because it can be quantified. So everything is number, from the number of atoms and molecules we have in our body, the number of gut organisms we have in us, and everything is this kind of result of a measure. Yeah, and geometry and number are at the heart of our reality. And at the heart of the matrix is this numerical system which drives and informs everything. Another thing I'll point out about the matrix is if you want to know if you're in the matrix or not while you're watching the film, if the shot has a green tint to it, you're in the matrix. If the green tint is gone, you're out of the matrix. It's a very clever little thing that the Wachowskis did to just tint the film a little bit.
Okay. Why are they talking about that bullshit? He, they, them, they have said a whole bunch of shit thus far that kind of fucked me up. You say, right, they're truly not secrets. They're not. Because they're putting it out there in your face. A lot of times you can watch this, like The Matrix. A lot of people have already decoded The Matrix. You can kind of see. But these things, the way that they're putting it, I have not heard nobody else kind of put it that way. Even with the Seclar, the Simular, Lark or Simular, whatever it is, the Simular in the Simulation. That's a book that I had not heard of before. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize that they were putting like little Easter eggs in the movie anyway. Because I was never looking at for different books and different, you know what I'm saying? The date on the ID card or the passport. Like I wasn't even looking at all of that shit. The shit is crazy. The shit that they put in the movies. But reason why I came on just so y'all can hear that part is because I keep saying like they put it right in our fucking face and we never fucking see it unless it's like standing out, unless it's some shit like The Inside Job. When you're watching The Inside Job, then you see a whole bunch of shit, you know, because they're blatantly telling you. I feel like it's the little things, the little nuances that you have to catch on to that you will see. You know what I'm saying? That make you want to pay attention. It's the little things that you'll see that is really the secrets. The shit that they're putting out in The Inside Job, plenty of people, you know what I'm saying, catch that shit. You see it, you know it. That's just universal law. But it's the other shit that they not really saying that you may catch a glimpse of. The small shit, the lettering at the back that's on the calendar. You know what I'm saying? That's where the gems are. Let me see. Overlook the little things, right? Blatantly disrespectful. Always hidden in plain sight. Infinite. The shit is crazy as fuck. I really just wanted y'all to hear those little tidbits. Now there's some other movies on here. Let's click. I said let's lick. Let's lick. Tell you where my motherfucking mind is at. Let's click out and let's see what other movie they have on here on episodes. Cause I just happened to turn it down something real quick. I just happened to come in, child, and see it. And I'm like, let me see what it is. They got the Terminator, Kubrick's from 2001. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. Titanic and the Avatar. That may be quite interesting. You say Late Night Free? Batman Begins, Chinatown, Blade Runner, Minority Report, and AI. Let's go. Ooh, child. The Minority Report. What is... Yeah. Stop. Why is it doing that? Why won't it play? Why is it trying to piss me? It will not play this one. Let me see. There you go. There you go.
Is there a hidden, more esoteric, deeper meaning to the Hollywood films that we all love to watch? I'm Jay Dyer.
And I'm Jay Widener. This is Hollywood Decoded.
Hollywood Decoded. This is episode 9. They probably gonna say some shit in this one.
Today we're going to look at artificial intelligence.
What the
Today we're
fuck?
going to look at artificial intelligence. This is the retelling of the Pinocchio story by Spielberg, adapted from the retelling of the
If y'all
Pinocchio
don't
story by
fucking knock it
Spielberg,
off,
adapted from Stanley Kubrick's script. And then we're going to look at Minority Report. This is another Spielberg film, this time adapted from dystopian Gnostic writer Philip K. Dick, that pictures a future when everything is tracked and traced.
Well, we know
everything
that
is tracked and traced.
this was
Bitch.
originally going to be a one-two punch ending of Stanley Kubrick's career. He was going to put out Eyes Wide Shut in 1999.
Eyes wide shut.
He was going to put out Eyes Wide Shut in 1999, and then finish up on the year of his most famous film, 2001, and he was going to release AI.
I think it's because I kept hitting it.
And he'd been working on it.
It's trying to
For
catch
years,
up.
with Ian Watson and various other science fiction writers. And
It's about to get on my
story
nerve.
is that Spielberg, who was friends with Stanley, was given the script by Stanley to do, because Kubrick was very private about everything that he did. And I do believe he did give the script to Spielberg, but just to get an opinion. And so I actually have an insider who has told me what Kubrick's script was going to be about on AI, and we got the results of
Bitch.
Spielberg's AI, which we're going to discuss. And they're completely different films.
I mean, when is it gonna catch up?
They're completely different films, and I find it curious because as my insider told me when I was talking to him in 2001, right after this film came out, he told me,
Oh shit,
what
it's
kind
gonna do
of
it again.
this film came out.
Bitch,
He told me,
stop.
what this film came out, he told me.
How you just gonna press
what
play?
kind of
Bitch, I press pause. How's it just gonna press play?
Sexual 12-year-old boy or girl. And would a mother really want to have a boy that never grows older, never matures, never goes to college and gets married? And I thought, no. And
Bitch, this didn't start it all the way fuck over to Blade Runner. What?
I'm Jay Dyer.
And I'm Jay Widener.
I'm gonna slap the shit out of this thing. You want me to slap the hell out of you? You better knock it off.
And I thought, no. And I thought, well, that kind of.
I will knock your goddamn head out.
Eyes Wide Shut is implying, right? So I thought, wow, we really missed a big one here when Kubrick, died in 1999 and now get to make AI. Spielberg's
AI was crazy. Bitch.
Is a very different film, and I'm glad that he made it because it gives me insights into him more than
Why the
anything else.
fuck
So
does it keep doing it?
Is operating just like Blade Runner on many levels. We have this fairy tale, and fairy tales come up many times in the film, but it's not your typical fairy tale. It's not just Pinocchio. It's a specific reorganization and retelling of the Gnostic mythology, and we know
This motherfucker keeps saying the Gnostic.
As we're going to see in Minority Report, that he has no problem with a Gnostic retelling of stories. So what I see this as is basically a combination, a coalescence of a whole bunch of fairy tales that tell the story of transhumanism.
Transhumanism.
As we said, from Pinocchio, and then in a weird way, kind of dehumanizing humans and humanizing the bots. That's what we're gonna.
What the fuck? Listen, I am going to fucking stop playing with me, bro. Oh my god. What is it doing?
using the bots. That's what we're going to see, especially when David is shown in his
Okay.
Edenic state with his mom. He has this very perfect.
So what I was trying to say was he said that they are computerizing humans and humanizing the bots. Transhumanism is what the fuck he's saying.
Edenic state with his mom. He has this very
I
perfect,
did not press
this
play.
golden era, golden age fairy tale, primeval state, and then he falls fairy tale, primeval state, and then he falls into understanding that the world is a mess. The world is the flesh fair. This is a very Dante-esque inferno scene where everybody's torturing the bots. And Spielberg tries to evoke that Holocaust imagery with references to the Holocaust by some of the bots in that scene. And so then it takes us on this long journey to Rouge City, and then we experience the baser desires of humanity with these entire cities and buildings that are giant whores and strumpets bent over. I mean, we're going to see all kinds of really bizarre, crazy things in this movie. And then it goes into aliens. So what do you think?
Well, I think it's a number of things, and one of the things that I'm going to keep coming back to this theme throughout the show that we do continuously, and that is the process of individuation.
Yeah.
And David, again, the robot.
I feel like he want to suck that man's dick.
Asleep,
Oh,
in a lot
God.
of ways. And it isn't until his mom leaves him, or she leaves him out in the woods, and then he begins that Holocaust and that journey, that he begins to realize that he's an individual. And then when he finally meets the Blue Fairy, because he has a mission, which none of the other robots ever
I
had.
swear.
He has a mission to see the Blue Fairy, which used to be, a statue in Coney Island. And
He
now
do,
it's
don't he?
underwater. And
The old man want to suck that
Dr.
young man dick.
Who is, of course, the alchemist who made him. And we find out that David is made in the image of his lost son, which again is a very kind of alchemist thing. And David reacts in a way like, no, I'm not just that, I'm more than that. And then he takes his plunge into the water. So I think this really is about the process of individuation, which is why that we like these kinds of movies, because we ourselves, in our lives, went through this same process. When we were young, we were kind of caught in the amorphous thinking of teachers and family and everything. But as you mature, especially when you get in your 20s, you become...
Probably looking at his pants, right, Makahulu?
I'm the best sax player in the neighborhood. I can do math better than anybody,
Saxadelic.
Breathing heavy and shit.
So I think that's another thing that's going on here, and another reason why we like the film. But in the end...
I don't know if y'all can hear my nose clicking.
What we're going to see in this scene is
My nose keep clicking and shit. It's so annoying.
To mine a lot of data out of this, a lot of really esoteric topics. So if we look to an imprinting protocol, we'll see that. So I read this scene Kabbalistically, and I know that because Spielberg often uses the Kabbalistic mystical tradition, right, out of medieval Judaism. And what you have here is a retelling in a way.
Can't control himself.
So God creates man.
Y'all so stupid. They be rubbing on each other.
And we're told
Gross.
that creation is done through some form of verbal sound vibration. If you're familiar with cymatics, you get the idea of...
I want to see that new movie, Megan.
Is it a game? Now, I'm going to read some words.
With pity eyes.
They won't make any sense, but I want you to listen to them anyway.
He keep blinking and
Look at me all the time. Can you do that?
like, sir, knock it off.
So in the same way, these vowels, these sounds that Monica makes as his mother archetype, is what actually awakens him. And she actually, you'll notice on that diagram there were chakra points. There was here and then the back of his neck, right? So you have these regions or these zones that are specific to, the hermetic tradition.
Megan, you want to see it?
So I read that as, like you said, it is an awakening, but it requires almost a ritual process.
Said, what's the movie on? Which one?
Mecca.
Because this what we watching right now is on Prime.
And so it's science, it's scientism, it's technology, but it still contains that ritual magic aspect.
Hurricane? Dolphin?
This is Hollywood Decoded, episode 9, season 1. They decoding the movie AI and the movie Minority Report. Yeah, it's Amazon Prime. Prime, yeah.
All right. I wonder if I did that right. What were those words for, Mommy? What did you call Mommy?
Mommy. I think if a little robot boy or girl hugged me and called me mama, it would scare the shit out of me.
Throughout the film, and you're right.
Go ahead on now, little robot.
In a way with words, and we don't really even understand the words.
I'm ready for them to go to motherfucking
Now, another level,
the Minority
darker
Report.
and more nefarious, something similar to what we saw in Blade Runner, is this idea of there being layers to consciousness, and that you could actually tap into or control how a person thinks or their thought process, and maybe even implant new memories or erase memories, right? And this is done through, for example, hypnosis. So this
Did y'all hear that? Said you can implant false memories. So the CIA did a lot of studies into hypnosis because do y'all understand the importance of that? You can implement false, let me rewind it just a little bit. Erase memories and let me just press play.
he got into a lot of studies into hypnosis, and Dr. George Estabrook wrote a famous essay in Science Digest back in 1971. It's called Hypnosis Comes of Age, and he talks about how he could create a military courier who could have alternate personalities, and then they could send him on a mission, and the only person who could access those memories suppressed in an alternate personality would be the person who had the key codes or the trigger codes. And so I read this as
Bitch, is y'all listening? Bitch. What? What up, Kim? Now I feel like I need to go watch Blade Runner. But he's talking about a real motherfucking scientist, not just no movie shit. Bitch, see, that's what I've been saying. He said the military.
who could have
I'm a man.
Dr. George Estabrook wrote a famous essay in Science Digest back in 1971. It's called Hypnosis Comes of Age. And he talks about how he could create a military courier who could have alternate personalities, and then they could send him on a mission, and the only person who could access those memories suppressed in an alternate personality would be the person who had the key codes or the trigger codes.
The key codes, the trigger codes, Manchurian Candidate. Anytime that the man who ran for president, he was the president. Anytime he answered the phone, they would say his name. They would say his name. He said Raymond Shaw. He said yes. She said Raymond Prentice Shaw. And it would like trigger his ass. I'm telling you, when I was in that hotel room and they bitch said, "Hi, Miss Dean. We were just calling to check and make sure you were happy and everything was okay in there." Bitch, you ain't calling every room personally. Why would you be calling my room?
And so I read this as that, in a way, relating to this, because we're going to see Jude Law's character is a sex bot. He's a sex operative. So yes, these are bots, but you have to understand that it operates on multiple levels, right? So these people are being.
Why would his character be a sex bot, a sex operative? But this is about a little boy who is a robot. That means kids would want to see this movie. But then you have to also look at it because, see, I've seen this movie. Him and the little boy robot, they become friends where he don't really want to be separated from him. Like they ended up saving each other in a certain kind of way.
Used allegorical way for how the elite, how the establishment uses people in Hollywood and so forth as
In the allegorical way about how the elite and Hollywood use people and so forth as sex operatives.
sex operatives.
A lot of
Bitch,
this
I done got sleepy.
AI actually began with those experiments
Exactly.
in the 50s
Right.
and Jose Delgado stopping the bull with the
Electrodes, right.
Yep, and so these things have been going on a long time. I know Spielberg has to be really
Oh, yeah,
into
right.
these things because we all are. And like you're right, the trigger words can do anything. And I mean, the robots can be controlled from without. It's not going to be hacked. Who's ever in control is in control of them.
And from that technocratic worldview or that technocratic perspective, they view everything in a naturalistic reductionist perspective. So
Y'all,
material, everything is
I
essentially
say
God's
for y'all to
program,
go
right?
and turn this
So
on.
really
It's
programming
on
a bot,
Prime.
programming a human is no different because they
He
view us.
said programming a human is no different than programming a bot. A human is no different because they view us as bots. Bitch, let that sink in. Programming a human is no different than programming a bot. A human is no different because they view us as bots. Bitch, I say for y'all to go turn this on and see because I just wanted y'all to hear a couple things. Again, this is Hollywood Decoded Season 1. This particular episode is episode 9. I'm about to go because I can't hold my eyes open now. I done got so sleepy like somebody done hit me with something good. Like sleep. You say Netflix is the perfect example of that. Period, Maliker. You say don't leave. Let's listen to just a little bit more then.
Us as bots,
They do.
biological bots.
They do. They very much view us that way. And, it goes back to The Republic by Plato,
Yes.
where he's designed,
Cybernetics.
yeah, he's designed this
Cybernetics.
perfect society. And one of the things that can't be allowed in this perfect society is any kind of individualism.
Right.
It has to be driven out, and you can't think for yourself because that would be dangerous. And again, we get back to those same themes here and the relationships between
He said they don't can't allow you to think for yourself because that would be dangerous.
Platonism and socialism are very
Yes.
close to each other, and a lot of the socialist countries are very controlling of how you think. That is the definition of
Okay,
Stalinism,
Corey.
is political thought control.
And then actually what we're going to see is
He
that
said can't let
the
you
Plato
think for
talks about
yourself.
what
That's
he
too
controls masses
dangerous.
was through their baser desires.
That's right.
But when we look to the scene about the flesh bear, what we're going to see is man's baser desires, that temptation to lust and to violence, being a means by which they're controlled. And so it's a very, as I said, a Dante-esque scene. It's like the Inferno.
Very much.
But what's going to happen is it's going to show that contrast between the Orga and the Mecca, how the Orga are captive to their desires. And the reason that I believe, a transhumanist fairy tale is that Spielberg's going to constantly present the bots as superior.
Absolutely.
And so if we look at this scene here, we'll see that.
What are you gonna do with him? To him where he belongs. Show business. It was certainly my good fortune running into you.
Gladiatorial events, dehumanization. That's what I see this as, but it's, again, the reversal. It's the humans that are dehumanized because they're like the pagans in Rome, right, who wanted to, have these giant gladiatorial events and torture people and see them eaten by lions and so forth. But here, David and Jude Law are almost our new savior figures. They're the beginnings of a new humanity. Is where this is going to take us.
Beginning
But
of a new
Spielberg thinks
humanity.
It's evolution, so it's not really humanity anymore. We're post-human. David is going to be the founder of a new race.
He said, but you're not really human because you're post-human, like it's transhumanism. Shit. Listen, I can't hold my eyes open. Y'all be sitting here listening to that, and then all of a sudden this phone will slap the shit out of me in my head because my hand will be done dropped trying to hold this phone up. And that would be embarrassing. Anyway, gratitude, y'all. I just wanted to jump on here so y'all can hear that. That shit was blowing my mind about the Matrix. Anyway, y'all, I love you. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.